Huh. This is a strange one. I wanted to make an off-the-cuff video talking about my collection. Why? I felt like it. My family and I recently moved into a new place. As you can see, the murder walls are no longer here. But in my process of moving, I found myself acknowledging my video games again. I mean, I had to take them all down, I reorganized them, and then I set them back up. And after that, I have a newfound spark in myself for collecting video games. So I just wanted to make this video talking about, well, the world's weirdest looking skin tag. The year is 2019. I'm sitting there with my old GameCube games, and I don't want to sell these anymore. I want to amass a pile of plastic that will make my friends go, huh, cool. The beginning of the end. So yes, in October 2019, I chose to no longer sell my games to get new ones. I wanted to just get new ones. I've watched videos of people's collections and thought it was awesome, but I could never do that. Looking back now though, that's a pretty weak mindset to have. If there's one message I want to put across as soon as possible, it's that I just love games. I hope this passion project of mine inspires someone to actually start collecting or at least get more interested in this subject, because collecting isn't hard, it's just a process that I have in the background of my life. I see my money, I think, what can I buy that won't give me discomfort? See, if you're going to start collecting, it's not hard as long as you don't put yourself in any money troubles. The games are always going to be out there, and if you don't get it at the low price you see now, it's not that big a deal. Get it some other time when you're financially comfortable with it. Anyway, side tangent over, I am in immense amounts of debt. After signing up for what's basically unemployment checks and buying a PS4 and Wii U with that new money, I started collecting, and after a month and a half, this is what I had. Okay, so I had a strange start, but it made sense to me. Well, first off, I held my collection in a cupboard that I had taken the door off of. Again, a very strange start. In this photo, I have the GameCube games I had as a kid, Xbox 360 games I just buy at a thrift store, the only 4 Wii games you'd ever need, the only Wii U game you'd ever need, the PS4 games I got at this year's Black Friday and when I actually bought the console, and 3 Nintendo 64 games. I believe they were Super Mario 64, Star Fox 64, and GoldenEye. I bought an N64 from an eBay seller when I bought the other consoles. These are all great games to start with, and I barely touched any of them. See, this is my biggest downfall of my collecting hobby. I don't play many of the games I buy. I know that's just the thing with most collectors, you get too many too fast, so you don't have the time. But back then, and even now, I really struggled with trying to get into games. Like the Nintendo 64, it was one of the first consoles I ever bought, and 4 years later, I've played Super Mario 64 for 10 minutes, Star Fox 64 for 5 minutes, and now it's just rotting away somewhere. And that's my fault, but it's my burden to bear, so like, whatever. 6 months after my start in this anchor of a hobby, and I've got not much more. Still only one Wii U game, the necessity, but I was mainly growing my Wii and Xbox 360 lineup. It was fun and slow. Then up at the top shelf you'll see some consoles, a stupid collector's edition I didn't want but it came with the PS4 so I'll take it, and some games that didn't work anymore. But wait, a Switch game, huh? See, here's my second controversy around my game collecting occupation. I went all digital with the Switch. It was just too convenient and cool to me. I love it. Consider this unfair. Damn, I really love Pikmin 3 and nothing else, huh? Yeah, after having that cupboard for about 9 months, I swapped to the classic IKEA Billy bookcase. I love this, the wood look to it, it's a big plus, and I like how deep the shelves are. As for the collection, well, not much of note. I was expanding my PS4 collection, but I'm sure that'd stop anytime soon. After a couple weeks of living it up with one IKEA bookcase, I got another. Man, I was living the life with this bookcase. This was where it truly felt like I had something. I mean, I got some Xbox One games, Pikmin 3 for the Wii U now had friends, and I got my first physical Persona game. Wait, what the fuck? I'm always proud of the Nintendo 64 collection. Something about having the cartridges out like this satisfies me, and I even got Donkey Kong 64 during this time. That's still one of my prized jewels. Another month or so goes by, and I'm just collecting what I can. Nothing too interesting here, but this is my first photo of my setup. I've got this amazing huge desk that I don't think goes with the color of the bookcases, but I try not to let that affect me. An unplugged Wii U at the bottom, a plugged in Nintendo 64 that shouldn't be plugged in, the Wii U, PS4 Pro, Xbox 360, and Switch out as my main consoles, and my whole PC setup to the right there. I like playing PC games, but I mostly prefer consoles. I mainly use this to stream and emulate older games, modding, editing, it gets the job done and I should really take better care of it. Half a year goes by and I'm getting games, playing them, I'm not really doing that, but as you can see I started running out of room. What was I to do? Workplace hazard. Yeah, I stacked the bookcases on top of each other. It works and I think it's a good height for me, but damn, this does not feel safe. Anyways, the PS5 had come out. You can tell because I bought its full lineup when it released. Did you like that one? I started getting 3DS games here too. I love the look on the right over here. One shelf for each console. Yeah, the DS deserves a shelf all to itself. Yes, I reorganized the entire collection to be in full alphabetical order. It didn't matter what console it was for, it was all alphabetical. Okay, listen, it's gross and weird, but for a little bit I did kinda like it. Oh, thank fuck I changed it just a month later. After this period here, nothing too exciting happened in my collecting days. I started my first full-time job during this time, so my focus was more on other things instead of collecting. I was still doing it, but I was just kind of going by getting what I wanted. Sure, during this time I achieved my main collecting goal that I started off with of getting every single Persona game, but I wasn't doing anything else too interesting. And then a whole year goes by and comes June of 2022. I get a 5th bookshelf. I put it on top of my dresser and stored my extra collecting wares in there. I honestly love the look of this shelf. I had my PS5 controllers, yeah, I got every color of those. I had 3 bookcases full of games, it was awesome. Now let's look at what I have as of June 2023. I have been collecting for almost 4 years now, and you know what? I'm in a good place with everything. While I've definitely slowed down with collecting this past year, what I have been getting I really enjoy. At times it felt like I was just getting games to fill out the collection, and that was somewhat fun. But with me putting more thought into what I actually want to get, I feel like I'm making the right choices with what I want to get, and that makes things more enjoyable. I think I'm also like that because, I only have 1 shelf left. After that, I don't know where to put another bookcase to store more games. I'm trying to look, I can't find a natural spot to put a new bookcase in, so it feels like this is gonna be it for a while. But let me show you what I do have. First off, let's look at this beautiful desk. Yes, I still have this L desk that doesn't look the greatest next to the bookcases, but I still love this desk. The consoles out now are the Wii U, PlayStation 5, Xbox Series X, and Nintendo Switch. This is the 2nd Wii U I've had. The first one just stopped working one day. It wouldn't turn on, and it still has my copy of My Sims Kingdom trapped inside, so even after death, the Wii U is causing me pain. The PS5 is a day 1 model I managed to score from Target with the pre-order. I was one of the lucky few, and I was so worried someone would steal it from me on my way home. I love this console, the controller, the look of the console, it's great, it's a $750 YouTube machine for me nowadays. The Xbox Series X. You know how I got that? I was in JB Hi-Fi one day. I saw someone buying one, so I asked, "Oh, you guys selling Series X's here?" There were, so I scored one that day. And I've yet to turn it on. Okay, an obvious exaggeration. I beat Psychonauts on this console, and it's cool having Game Pass on this thing, but I just don't turn it on nowadays. Then the Nintendo Switch. You know, I love the Switch, but I go through phases of either not touching the thing for months on end or doing nothing but playing Switch games. Right now I'm playing this a lot. I just beat Zelda Tears of the Kingdom on it, and I'm currently playing more Nintendo games. It's honestly my favorite console of all time. Now to the other side of this desk, it's the PC shit. 2 average monitors, an average 2015 YouTuber mic, Amazon mic stand, knockoff ring light, and $3 Officework keyboard. It's shoddy, but it's mine and it works. Now this PC, it is a beast indeed. It can handle big games on the highest settings, great for recording and streaming, but I've already said I don't play much on PC. It's still great to have here though, and I no longer have it under my desk. It's got room to breathe. I should still clean it one day. I've got my 3DS sitting in here as well. I never grew up with it, but recently I've gotten really into it. I played the Persona Q games on it, some Fire Emblems here and there, and I feel like I'm gonna have so much more fun with it. But now into the actual games, what I care about most here, and oh my god, the bookshelves are crooked. Yeah, this house is weird. The ends of the floors are a bit crooked, and you can really tell when sitting at my desk. It already feels dangerous enough having the bookcases stacked on top of each other, but now they're at an angle. I haven't had any issues so far, but I'm always worried about it falling one day. Anyway, the PS5 games. Now I really like how these look together on a shelf. You take out the game, it looks weird. The white with blue doesn't fit well, but you get that sweet spine action, and I think it's neat. I kind of had the mindset to really broaden what I collect here. Multiple genres for multiple companies. I wanted to get a lot of different styles of games, and I'm happy with what I have. I don't think I'm missing any must-haves for the console, at least none spring to mind right now. I like this collection. Now the Xbox Series games, what the hell are these? These are just Xbox One cases with the 1 taken off the spine. I don't understand, and am I the only one who didn't put these ones with the Xbox One games? Anyways, I think you can tell by the difference in volume that I prefer playing games on the PS5. However, I think I'm good with this collection. I find it dangerous to get an Xbox version of a multi-platform game really going against the norm, so at least it gets a bit exciting buying these games. The Nintendo Switch, listen, these look great on a shelf until you get too much, then it's just a sea of red. Right now it looks satisfying, I have one dedicated shelf to just Switch games, but one more shelf of that and I think it'll be a bit too much. I'm actually in the middle of going for my next goal in game collecting, getting every Switch game that was at the very least published by Nintendo. I'm about halfway there and I'm having a blast with it, but that's all. I don't want to get any other Switch games right now, and also the dumbass me who would buy a bunch of Nintendo games digitally on here is currently laughing at me, the little bitch. Xbox One, why are you here? I swear I saw these cases earlier, but my vision might just be going. Since when was there a 1 on these cases? I think I'm done with these. If there's anything I want in the future, I'll get it, but I'm good for now. Why do I have so many PS4 games? I actually don't know. It's not like I'm in love with the console. I guess it was just cheap to get these games. I mean, I was mainly playing the PS4 for the longest time anyways. I don't know, but I'm for sure done getting PS4 games just for the sake of getting games. If it's multi-platform, I want to get it on Xbox. I could fill a whole bookcase with just PS4 games, it's disgusting. Well, onto the Wii U, and I feel a little underwhelmed by my Wii U collection. I have the main games you want on there, but I'm still missing a lot. I had a tiny period a couple months ago where I got some really cool Wii U games, but that died out quickly. I want to get back into that, but I'm kind of occupied with the Switch games goal right now. Maybe someday. PS3, yeah, they changed the design of the case halfway through its life, and my PS3 wants to die whenever I launch it. I'm not big on collecting the stuff here. The Wii is disgusting. I do have most games that I wanted for that console, and I do also have some really cool stuff in there. Xbox 360 is cool, but my god, this is easy to collect. I have most games that I wanted, so I got to the point I just started looking for the strange and rare games for the system to get. I mean, the Xbox 360 games are dirt cheap, well, for the most part at least. But I'm not as into collecting for this console as other ones. But again, I do have some pretty cool stuff here. Original Xbox, pretty cool, but I don't have the best knowledge as for what I want to get for this console, and I don't have a great way to play these either. I have an Xbox, but no power cable. Listen, I bought the thing at a thrift store for like 25 bucks, and while the 360 can play some of these games, the emulation does get shoddy for a couple of them. I don't know, I'd like to get properly into this console, but again, maybe one day. GameCube. You know, I actually haven't gotten a single GameCube game since I started this hobby of mine. I love the console and games. I did grow up with the GameCube, but these games are stupid expensive in Australia, and I don't have a good way to play these games either. My GameCube doesn't work, and yeah, I have the Wii, but the GameCube controller I have is some shitty knockoff controller. I want to get a genuine one, but that does cost a bit. I just haven't dedicated myself to this console yet. I definitely will, but I have to spend a good chunk of change to prepare myself. PlayStation 2, PlayStation 1, PSP, and PS Vita. I only have the Persona games that came out on this console, and then barely anything else. I have no nostalgia for these, and the handhelds I can't even play. I don't have the consoles yet. 3DS and DS, I've got some stuff, I could have more, but it feels weird getting these games. The boxes are so tiny, these little fellas often get forgotten about by me. Finally, the Nintendo 64 cartridges. These might be my favorite things to collect, and it's entirely just the design of the cartridges for me. Having some of the most influential games in existence in my collection and using custom stickers to label the games, it's just so neat, okay? I don't have a lot and I certainly do not play them, but I strangely love these things. It fills me with joy buying these games. So that's my game collection, and as you can see, I am missing some older ones like the Nintendo Entertainment System, Super Nintendo, Sega's whole lineup of consoles, and just like older ones in general. Well, I don't hate the idea of maybe collecting Sega games one day. I don't have them because I don't care for those consoles. It's weird as a video game collector to not get every single console and stuff like that, but I think that adds character to who I am and like what I like to collect. I get what I want to get. I don't want to get everything, just the stuff that I care about. And honestly, I don't care about those kinds of systems. I mean, hate that if you want, but I have my tastes. So those are my games, and you may have thought to yourself, damn, he really likes the rectangles and not much more. Yeah, I don't have that much other than just the games, like little knickknacks and collectibles, but there's a reason for that. I'm what I like to call well, I guess a little bitch collector. I get games and I don't care much about anything else. I see all these people having like the collectible figurines, the collector's editions, books, pamphlets, soundtracks, anything else surrounding video games. And like, that's cool, but it doesn't look to me like you care about the video games, just that you care about getting cool things to show off to people. I mean, don't get me wrong, it is cool to see. It shows that they're super involved and that they really care about the franchise that they buy all this stuff for. It's just that to me, it looks like too much of an expense when I could be spending the money on that stuff into just getting the video games. I mean, I do have some collectible shit, it's in the closet behind me, but just the fact that I keep that stuff locked in a closet shows you what I think about all the collectible stuff. I prefer using the money people use on all that other stuff and spend it on getting what I actually care about, the games. I like having and playing video games. I don't like going broke and dedicating too much space over what I'm honestly not passionate about. I think it also comes down to you can actually interact with video games, you can play them for hours on end, and they can provide you with an unforgettable experience. With collector's editions, figurines, whatever the like, you can't get as much out of them as you can with the actual games. You look at these for a couple of minutes, go, that's cool, and you're pretty much done with them. I don't want to hate on people who do get into these kinds of things. Again, I think it's really cool to see, but I just want to emphasize that my tastes are more well tuned to just the actual video games, not everything surrounding video games. But let me show you my closet of shame. So up the top here, we've got the consoles I don't use with their respective controllers, with the boxes of my newer systems up the back there. Yeah, I kept the generic ass box the Wii U came in, come get it. I don't even think half of these consoles work anymore, they're just here for the sake of being here. Now we've got my mainstay collectibles. The Persona 5 Royale 1 More Edition that came out when they were re-releasing Persona 5 for the newer consoles. I spent 240 bucks on it, and it's kinda shit. I mean, a decent looking chest, some tarot cards that are accidentally damaged trying to open up, some character cards with one frame, and an Akechi bag that seems a bit too small. I don't know, it also came with the Steelbook edition, which I don't mind, but I always kinda prefer the standard casing with games, which leads me to the Dead Island 2 Hell A edition. $150 for a package I always thought was just way more bigger than what it actually was, but then only a Steelbook case, no standard one, so I can't display it on my wall. Thanks for that. A map of one specific area in the game, 6 tarot cards and some pins. Now something awoke in me like half a year ago and I got really into pins for a solid week. These pins here are cool, but not iconic for me. I mean, an alright price, but in the end, I just don't think this was worth it. Now a collector's edition that was definitely worth it, and what I think is the coolest collector's edition that I have, it's the Fire Emblem Engage Divine Edition. It's the cheapest one I got too, $140. And just look at the presentation of this, the box already, it's just stunning. It comes with both the standard game and a steelbook variant. Yes, please, I love this so much more. But art cards of the legacy characters that appear in the game, this makes perfect sense. A poster, which, like, I'm not big on posters, but it's pretty cool to have. But the art book is by far the best product in here. I always loved how Engage looked artistically, so an art book is heaven sent. Beautiful art of the lands, great art of the characters, and it kinda peters off with art of weapons and stuff, but this book is still fantastic to look through. Now the final and most recent collector's edition I have is the Legend of Zelda Tears of the Kingdom Collector's Edition. This one was pretty pricey at $190, but is it worth it? I mean, both the standard case and steelbook case is nice, and the poster is a metallic one, which I vastly prefer. An art book that I haven't gone through yet, but it's gotta be good. Tears of the Kingdom is a great game for an art book. Ooh, pins, yeah, but they're just of some symbols within the game. They're too similar to each other. I don't know about these ones. This thing is fucking massive too, but did it need to be out of cardboard? I'm worried I'm going to tear it just trying to open it. I'm sure people consider this a value. I mean, the art book alone is pretty awesome. But maybe just one more thing in here will make me feel better for spending $190. I mean, am I being unreasonable with that? Also, one thing to note is that the standard case inside the collector's edition doesn't have a rating on it. I love it and hate it. It's so weird and kooky and strange, but I kind of love that they don't show the ratings on the spines of these Switch games, except for when they do. Now what I think is the coolest item I have in general is the Persona 3 Evoker water gun. It's the item the characters use in the game to summon their personas, and it's a water gun. I love it. I imported it from Japan and it is in the box. Well, it came with the box. It had clearly been opened before, and I've taken it out of the box a few times. I love it. It's just so neat, right? Please tell me it's neat. I spent $120 on it, please. The build quality is neat, and Persona 3 is one of my favorite games of all time. definitely a worthwhile purchase. Going down the shelves of this bookcase here, in the top shelf I have the special sleeve some specific games came in, like the Pokemon Scarlet and Violet Double Pack, Nintendo Switch Sports Box, Black Sad sleeve, Sonic Mania Plus, Among Us, and Psychonauts 2. I mean, these are cool, but I keep them hidden away. I don't really like having these on the actual wall. It feels a bit inconsistent. Well, I've also got some spare Joy-Cons, the extra grips that the Joy-Cons come with, and a decrepit Wii wheel. Then the old capture card I used to record my first videos. It's outdated and sucks, but I've got a gross attachment to it. This thing helped me live my dream of being a YouTuber. Next shelf is the PS5 controllers. Nah, the PS5 controllers. I hate them. I mean, the controllers are great, one of the most comfortable controllers to use, but I don't need these. I think this is my biggest waste of money.
And I have wasted a lot of money. You get it.
$120 each for these controllers. It's neat to have, but just so much money down the drain. Thank God I stopped myself and didn't get that Pro controller that cost $300+. Next shelf is just some boxes of phones, my new capture card box, and a Gravity Falls book. Another one of my little treasures, and it's got nothing to do with video games. I've also got a little disc binder here that holds some games I forgot I even have. Some random PS2 games, some Wii games. This is my childhood here. Then finally the labels for my Nintendo 64 games. This is also why I love collecting N64 games. Finding the sticker here, it's a lovely little bonus. Then down the bottom, it's not that interesting. Just games that don't work or cases with the games missing, duplicates, generic case from EB Games, whatever, it's just my useless stuff. Yes, I'm including the Division 2 Lincoln edition with the term useless. Also the only 2 DVDs you'll need in life. Hey, Breath of the Wild. This is a recent pickup of mine. A book dedicated about the making of The Legend of Zelda Breath of the Wild. Amazing artwork, fantastic concept art, and some real interesting developer notes. I haven't finished this book yet, but I absolutely love this thing, and it's fucking huge. I want to get more of these kinds of books. I found one of Fire Emblem Awakening a while ago. I almost got it, but I haven't made the commitment yet. My VR headset, how I love you and how I forget about you all the time. The Oculus Quest 2. It's an amazing thing, it's all you need. I play tons of VR games and it works amazingly, but I haven't picked it up in a long time. Like, literally picked it up. It's resting on the floor in my closet. I love it, but I don't have much desire to play it. Next to it, it's my old Wii U rotting away in shambles, and my last threads clinging to my childhood. Some Hot Wheels and Bakugan, to be precise. With that, I believe that's everything I've got, unless you want me to talk about my dresser and every shelf in that as well. As I said, I've been collecting for about 4 years, and I think I've hit my peak. I don't have too little where I feel like an amateur after all this time, but I don't have too much where I don't feel as strong as a connection to this stuff as much as I could have. My stuff, eh? It's pretty cool if I do say so myself, but I could always have more. Where do I see myself going with this collection? What's the future? Do I have an idea of where I want to go? Fuck no. And I'm happy that I don't have a clear outline of the future. I find solace in the fact that I don't take this as seriously as some people. I'm doing what I enjoy, how I enjoy doing it. Just taking it one day at a time. But let's talk about what I could strive for. I like to have a place all to myself, whether it's a house or apartment. I want the opportunity to display everything outside of just my bedroom. Living with my family means I can't really have stuff outside of my bedroom, and I think that'd be the same living with a roommate. So I think it'd be nice to have the lounge room for playing the games, with a dedicated room or basement just to my enormous collection. Speaking of, I want to just get more games. The entire Switch library, or at least the stuff that was published by Nintendo. More Wii U games, more GameCube games, with a great way to play every system, or at least the systems that I care about. The consoles with the right amount of controllers, the genuine ones, and to have it all neatly displayed and ready to go. I'd also like to branch out from only collecting games. I think my second collecting hobby could be for books of information about games. I think they're really interesting, just like the Breath of the Wild one that I have. Maybe more pins or collector's edition of games I really truly do care about. Again, I'm not really into supplementary content in the video game atmosphere, but there are times I get suckered into it. Maybe I become a little more open-minded in the future. Oh, Amiibo, I'd love to get them. Specifically the Smash Bros ones, they're cool, but again, I'm not as into it as I am with games. But if I had the time and money, that'd be fun to get. I know my fantasy doesn't sound as interesting or as well thought out as it could be, but again, I'm not looking that far ahead. I'm doing what I'm doing for the enjoyment that I feel now. If I still enjoy doing this 10 years from now, great. I hope I've amassed a collection that can wow anyone who gets to see it. But whatever happens in the future, I'm sure it'll all work out. I like what I said there. I'm hopeful and positive for what I can do. If I can pat myself on the back real quick, what a passionate project that I'm doing. I hope that anyone who hears my words or sees my enthusiasm understands that I love what I've been doing, and I hope my words can inspire someone to get into this hobby or just anything similar. I think what I want to do as a send-off is go through some of my most prized possessions.
Doki Doki Literature Club Plus for the PS5. I love this game. It's an unforgettable experience, and it got me into visual novels, and to a certain extent it got me into anime. Now there's some nice little bonuses inside this game, but I don't want to open it, it's too precious. The thing with me that I haven't really mentioned is that I don't care for preserving things in shrink wrap or keeping things in mint condition. I don't take things too seriously with that. But I already have this game digitally, I have it twice digitally, and it's the American version. I don't think my PS5 could even play this, so why would I open it? My entire Persona collection. I love these games. I'm glad that I have every single one, and a lot of them are the Australian versions too. They are not easy to come by, and certainly not cheap. In fact, Persona 3 Fez is my most expensive game in my entire collection. I spent $400 for this. It was definitely worth it, dear God, I hope it is. This is the Australian version of it. You never see this around. It's really rare. I'm so special to have it. Yes, I have 4 copies of Persona 5 Royale. The Persona 3 Evoker, I've already mentioned it, but here it is again. This is by far my favorite collectible that I have in my entire room. Look at it! Final Fantasy XI, one of the weirder games that I own. I mean, an online-only mainline Final Fantasy game on the Xbox 360. I mean, the box art looks like it's some promotional art or a demo disc. It's weird, but so am I. The World Ends With You on DS, I should play this game sometime, but it is the Australian version, and I think that's neat. I think collecting the Australian versions of all these games are really cool because you always either see the American versions or the European versions. There's not much love for us Australians. I mean, at least the whole collecting scene here is minute, so having someone like me be here and screaming out, "Look at Australia, we're pretty special." I don't know, it's heartwarming. I know I said I was underwhelmed by my Wii U collection, but that's more so about the quantity of the games. The games I actually own, I think some of these are very interesting. I mean, you've got Hello Kitty Cruisers, New Super Luigi U, it's green, that's awesome. Rodea the Sky Soldier, I don't know what the hell this game is, but it's pretty rare, at least it was as expensive as a rare game is. The Legend of Zelda Breath of the Wild for Wii U. What? Wii Fit U and Wii Sports Club to round that out. I mean, aren't these games all interesting? Yeah, probably not. Dude, the Australian version! Pikmin 3, I love it. Pikmin 2, I love it. Pikmin 1, I love it. Ju-On the Grudge for the Wii. This game sucks. But it's such a strange and rare title that I had to have it. You see, a long time ago I watched all the Ju-On movies, all the Japanese or the American ones. I got into this rabbit hole of all the Ju-On movies and I figured out there was a game for the whole thing. I had to get it. The title sucks. Ju-On the Grudge, a fright simulator. The box art sucks. I've never seen anything that looks more like a stock photo in my entire life. The gameplay sucks, the graphics sucks, everything sucks, but what sucks the most is that this is the European copy. Yeah, I know there's a sticker here that's for the Australian. Didn't fool me. Well, I guess it did because I bought it. The only good thing about this game is that when I streamed it, that turned into my most favorite stream ever. So at least I can thank it for that. The 4 collector's editions that I have over here, yeah, I'm not a big fan of collector's editions, and half of these do kind of feel like a waste of money. But they do show off franchises I truly do care about. Persona, Dead Island, Fire Emblem, and Zelda, the 4 horsemen if you will. Fatal Frame, Maiden of Blackwater. I'll probably never play this game, but it's an unrated version, and I think this only released in Japan. I don't know, just kind of cool to have. Finally, The Legend of Zelda Breath of the Wild for the Switch. This is the first game that I ever got for that system, and it only made the Nintendo Switch my favorite console of all time. So thanks for that. There are more treasures that I have around here, but I think it just boiled down to, I think it's cool, and it's pretty rare too. I mean, Eternal Sonata for the Xbox 360, the Fire Emblem Fates games on the Nintendo 3DS, and Donkey Kong 64 on the Nintendo 64, just to name a few. Again, I've got more stuff around here, but I can't say anything else that I haven't said already.
Game collecting is an amazing and fulfilling hobby to get into. Every game on my shelf holds an experience and story worth so many hours. I'll never be able to finish all of these games. There's infinite hours within these bookcases. That's just something fantastic. I hope I get to keep doing this and that I don't grow tired of seeing the words Mario, Zelda, Persona, Final Fantasy, anything like that on the spines of all these goddamn games. I've got a pretty sweet pile of shit here behind me, and with enough time, commitment, most importantly money, this could all be yours. Please, dear God, buy this shit off of me. I need to get more PS5 controllers.